Hello class, good day. At this point, we will be talking about the classifications, gross and microscopic structures of your bones. Now moving forward about how can we classify the bones, or we have the bone classification. By the way, we have four categories on how we can classify the bones. Bone classification. Okay, first one, we have according to the size and shape. According to size and shape. Under this category, we have your long bones. Okay, long bones. Long bones, they are typically longer. What are the example of your long bones? Your long bones are your bones of the limbs. Okay, bones of the limbs. Example, we have bones of the limbs, such as your femur. Okay, bones of the limbs like your femur. Okay. Another one under your first category, we have your short bones. Short bones are generally cube shaped and they are broad. Okay. What are the example of your short bones? We have the wrist. Okay. Your wrist. Wrist such as your carpals. And the ankle bones. We have your ankle bones. That are the example of your short bones. Ankle bones. And in your ankle bones, we have example your tarsals. Okay. Under your first category, we have also your flat bones. Okay, flat bones. What are the example of your flat bones? Actually, your flat bones are thin, they are flattened and usually curved. Example are your ribs, your sternum, and your cranial bones. Okay. Example are your ribs, your breastbone or your sternum and cranial bones. Cranial bones are all flat bones. Next, under your first category, we have your irregular bones. Irregular bones. Okay, we have, for example, your vertebrae and your hip bones. They are actually vary in shape. Okay, vertebrae and hip bones like your pelvis, that is your pelvis. Okay, So those are the first category in how we can classify your bones. That is according to size and shape. Long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. The other one is according to the origins or the type of ossification. Ossification also means your bone formation. Again, that is your bone formation. Okay. According to origins or type of ossification. Ossification, or also called as your bone formation. Okay. Okay, under this category, this broad category, we have your endochondral or cartilaginous ossification. Again, cartilaginous or endochondral. Cartilaginous or endochondral. Endochondral ossification. Okay, actually, when we say cartilaginous, they are bones that are developed from the cartilage models. Okay, bones developed from, okay, that is from cartilage, from the word cartilaginous, cartilage, from cartilage models. Okay, cartilage models. What are the example of this cartilaginous or endochondral ossification? Example are your short and long bones. Okay, those short and long bones are under your cartilaginous ossification. Short and long bones. Second one, under the origin or the type of ossification, we have your membranous. Okay, membranous. Membranous. Okay, actually, these are bones formed in the connective tissue membranes. Okay, bones formed in the connective tissue. In the connective tissue membranes. Tissue membranes. Example of this membranous. Okay, what are the bones under this subcategory? Okay, we have the frontal and the parietal bones of the skull. Okay, frontal and parietal bones of the skull. And we have also your mandible and your maxilla. Okay, mandible and maxilla. Okay, those are some of the examples under your subcategory of your ossification. We have your membranous ossification, frontal, parietal bones. Okay, parietal bones of the skull. We have mandible and your maxilla. Bones are also classified according to structure. Okay. Structure. Under this broad category, it includes your spongy bone, or also called as your cancellous bone. The other one, under this broad category, we have your compact bone. When we say spongy or cancellous bone, actually they are composed of branching beams of hard bones. These branching beams of hard bones are your trabeculae or trabecula. Trabecula is a singular form of your trabeculae. And also, when we say spongy, they are also composed of your open spaces. So again, they are composed of your trabeculae and open spaces. Culae and open spaces. Okay, where can we locate these spongy or your cancellous bones? Actually, they are found in the inner portion of your bone. Okay, found in the inner portion. Found in the inner portion of bone. When we say compact bone, they are formed by a solid matrix of a cylindrical units. These cylindrical units are also called as your osteon, or other term for osteon, we have your Haversian system. Okay, they are formed by osteon or your Haversian system. Haversian systems. We take note of this osteon or your Haversian system that are tightly packed together. It is most commonly found at the diaphysis of the long bones. Okay, later I will explain what is those term diaphysis, part of the long bones. Okay, they are found the diaphysis of long bones. The other broad category in how we can also classify bone is according to the location. Okay, location. When we say location, under this broad category, it includes your axial skeleton. Axial skeleton and your appendicular skeleton. Okay, when we say axial skeleton, actually it consists of 80 bones. Okay, you have your 80 bones. While on the other hand, your appendicular skeleton, it consists of 126 bones. That is why the adult skeleton is composed of 206 bones. We can add up 80 and 126 bones, equivalent to 206 bones. Okay, when we say axial, they are also located along the central axis of the body. Okay, take note of this. Located along the central axis. Along the central axis of the body. Okay, example of your axial skeleton are your skull, the hyoid. Okay, examples are your skull, hyoid. We have also your spinal column, ribs and sternum. Ribs and sternum. While on the other hand, your appendicular skeleton, that, as I said, consists of 126 bones. They are located in the peripheral part of the body. Okay, located the peripheral part of the body. Okay, what are the example under your appendicular skeleton? We have your upper and lower extremities. Okay, upper and lower extremities. So again, I would like to emphasize your exoskeleton, we have 80 bones, while your appendicular, 126 bones. So all in all, we have a total number of 206 bones. Now we have also to tackle about the gross structure of the bone. As you can see here, this is the external and the internal features of a long bone. The typical long bone is composed of the diaphysis, or the central shaft, and the epiphysis. So where can we locate these parts? Okay, in this upper portion, this is what we call your epiphysis. Epiphysis. Okay, your epiphysis. And the other one, another epiphysis. And in this midsection, the long midsection is what we call your diaphysis, or your central shaft. Okay, shaft. Epiphysis. And the diaphysis and epiphysis, which are also covered by the articular cartilages at both ends of the shaft. Okay, where is the articular cartilages? Actually, this is the articular cartilages. Articular cartilages. Okay, the bigger version is also here. Take note also that the diaphysis is connected to each epiphysis at a narrow zone. Okay, where is that narrow zone? This narrow zone is actually called as your metaphysis. Okay, metaphysis. Another portion here, that is your metaphysis. The external aspect of a whole bone, there you can see the periosteum. Okay, periosteum. In this part is your periosteum. which is said to be the outer surface covering made up of a dense connective tissue containing a blood vessels and also nerves. I also mentioned from your previous topic about the term osteogenic cells or your osteoprogenitor cells. Actually, those cells can also be located on the deepest part of your periosteum, especially your osteoblasts or the bone building cells. At the level of your epiphysis, as you can see here, this is what we call your spongy bone. Spongy bone. Then, below in this area, this is what we call your epiphyseal line. Epiphyseal. Epiphyseal line. Actually, at first, a growing bone is composed of your epiphyseal plate. Epiphyseal plate is the site of your bone elongation. Epiphyseal plate, take note, between each the epiphysis and later it is replaced by the epiphyseal line when bone growth stops. Take note of that. That is your epiphyseal line. At first, that is your epiphyseal plate, which is later on that can be replaced by your epiphyseal line as the bone growth stops. Another part is your medullary cavity. Okay, this is your medullary cavity or your marrow cavity. Medullary cavity, which is lined by your endosteum. So what is that endosteum? Okay, in this bigger picture here, this is your endosteum. Okay, endosteum. This specific part here, again, your endosteum is composed of a thinner connective tissue membrane, and the yellow portion here, this is what we call your yellow bone marrow. Yellow bone marrow, mostly they are made up of fats or triglycerides. Yellow bone marrow. And another part, this is what we call your compact bone. Compact bone. Okay. Again, this part is also your compact bone. Compact bone. Actually, I would like to connect the line here. This is also the compact bone, which is also the same here. Okay, if we're gonna have to enlarge this part, this would give us the new version. Okay, another version in this part is your compact bone, and next to it, this is your periosteum. Periosteum. Okay. This is what we call your Sharpie's fiber. Sharpie's fiber. And these blood vessels are what we call your nutrient arteries. Okay? Nutrient arteries. Arteries. Okay, nutrient arteries. And take note also that osteoblasts or the bone building cells can also be located in your endosteum. Okay, as a whole, this is the internal and the external features of the long bone. Internal and external features of long bone. On the other aspect, if we're gonna have to look into the microscopic structure of your bone, in this instance, your compact bone. Your compact bone is composed of your haversian systems, or what we call your osteons. You can see this is your osteon or the haversian system. Take note, this is your microscopic structure. Microscopic structure. The compact bone, as I said, is composed of your osteon or what we call your haversian system. Your haversian system. Each osteon, take note, is made up of uh, another structure, what we call your haversian canal. Okay, again, each osteon is made up of haversian canal or your central canal. Where can we locate this part? Okay, this is your central or haversian canal. Your osteon is also made up of lamellae. These lamellae are concentric layers of hard matrix that surrounds the haversian canal. Okay, where is your lamellae? This is your lamellae, or the lamella. And also, your osteon is made up of your osteocyte. As you can still remember, your osteocyte, this is your matured bone cell that also regulates the osteoblast and your osteoclast. Take note also that the osteocytes are trapped within the cavities called lacuna. Okay, this is the lacuna. Okay, lacuna that is found in between layers of your lamellae. And the haversian canal, as I mentioned, it also contains what blood vessels that provides nutrients to the osteocytes via the canaliculus. Okay, this is your canaliculus. Your canaliculus. These canaliculus or canaliculi are small passageways that allow osteocytes to communicate with their neighbors and also promote exchange of substances between the osteocytes and the blood capillaries. There are also transverse canals called your Volkmann's canals. Okay, where's your Volkmann canals here? Okay, or your perforating canal. This is the Volkmann's canals. Connecting the central canal to the adjacent haversian system. Okay, again, your osteon is made up of haversian canal or your central canal. Okay. Next, it is made up also your lamellae or lamella, and it is also made up by your osteocytes or your matured type of bone cell. Okay, those are the microscopic structure of your bone, especially in the aspect of your compact bone.